Welcome to the follow-up after show, our web extra to the viewers that watch the big show. Of course, we talked about education, opportunity to talk to our experts again and do some other things here that we didn't get to in the big show. We have Ben DeGrow, ExcelinEd. He is the policy director for education choice there, and Grant Hegenauer, the Frankenmuth Schools superintendent. So Ben, I'm going to come to you for the after show. It looks like the U.S. Department of Education has changed some rules about funding that may affect some charter schools. And that case actually stems from something in Michigan, right? So talk to us about that.
Right, so as I mentioned on the main show, that education policy, the main place where decision making happens is at the state level. But that doesn't mean the federal government has no role in it, and so the U.S. Department of Education provides an increasing amount of funding for a variety of programs related to education. This particularly is the charter school grant program, which, as we mentioned before, charter schools are independent public schools that are not run by traditional district, but give parents an option that they can choose to opt into and provide a variety of different programs. And Michigan is one of the leading states in the country with about 10% of kids go to charter schools. So what happened is the U.S. Department of Education, in the case that was filed against them, they make the argument that they overstepped their bounds in making rules, and basically the rules make it harder for new and existing charter schools to request some of those federal grant funds to get themselves up and running, because charter schools don't have access to a lot of the facilities dollars that other public schools do. And so things like the U.S. Department of Education wants charter schools to prove that they have permission from the local district, or to demonstrate that they are meeting certain racial quotas and not discriminating. And charter schools can't discriminate against the students by race as they come in. But they want, if there's too much or not enough diversity, they want to say, you can't have the grant funding. So the idea is we should be defaulting to parent choice. The federal government should be overstepping its authority, and these grant funds should be put back on the terms they were before.
Okay. I'm going to kind of shift gears with you on something that we talked about on the phone before the show, but I wanted to get into. You were a public school administrator in Frankenmuth, but we have a pretty solid Christian school there, St. Lawrence Lutheran School. They're pre-K through 8. So you don't necessarily see that as competition per se, but you see that as a way you sort of embrace that. So talk to me how that works and what your mindset is on that.
I think if you look at the development of our community over time, St. Lawrence Lutheran School has been a very strong educational source for opportunity for students in our area that really want to learn Lutheran values and the values and the norms that are brought in that Christian faith. In Frankenmuth, we've embraced that. We work collaboratively with St. Lawrence at the Frankenmuth School District. We do provide busing. We do not charge our St. Lawrence colleagues for that. And also we do a lot of collaborative sharing of programs. So for instance, we provide the PE teacher for St. Lawrence, and we will continue to work on that collaboration, because in the end we have to remember that in Frankenmuth, students, regardless if they go through the Frankenmuth School District or through St. Lawrence, they are Frankenmuth students. They are Frankenmuth community members. And our goal is, with St. Lawrence being a K-8 program, is to provide them the opportunity of an excellent education, continue an excellent education that really mirrors a lot of what they have had in K-8 to the transition at Frankenmuth High School in 9-12. We do, like I said, as the superintendent, it's unique because a lot of school districts would find that as a challenge. We find it as an opportunity, and it provides a great culture and a great tradition in Frankenmuth.
And it's interesting, I think, if you look at the numbers in that community, while a fair amount may go somewhere else for high school, like Valley Lutheran or some other choices in parochial education, it's still an overwhelming amount of students from K through 8 end up going through the public school, right?
Correct. I would say, Mike, 95% of the students that are 8th graders at St. Lawrence will transition to Frankenmuth High School. And it says a lot about their commitment to the community.
Right.
And I will let our viewers know as well that my aunts, my uncles, and my father all went through St. Lawrence and ended up at the Frankenmuth School District. So there is a lot of collaboration and a lot of community involvement between St. Lawrence and through the Frankenmuth School District. And I have to say it, I am honored to be serving Frankenmuth School District,
right,
especially as my grandfather, Wyman Hegenauer, was a school board member not only for the St. Lawrence School Board, but also for the Frankenmuth School Board back in the 1960s.
Right. Well, speaking of the school board, in Midland, the community you live in, what is it, the Year of the Parent they're calling it? You want to elaborate on that?
Well, I think this is probably something we're seeing in a number of school districts across the state of Michigan, is the overflow of what happened during the pandemic, whether it was the public health issues and the mask restrictions, or controversies over curriculum issues, or you name it, right? Or just general education quality. All kinds of these things are coming into play. But in Midland, in particular, I've only lived there about 6 or 8 years, and I've never seen this many signs, this much interest in school boards. And a lot of these, for some of the candidates, are pointing out this is the year of the parent. So that stream of parent interest in getting involved in local education is becoming evident. It's also encouraging to hear, educators, and every time you hear that, it's about the students, right? It's not whether they go to this school or that school. And I think that same supportive attitude, whether it's coming from a public, private, homeschool, that it's really about the student and what works best for them. I think that's what we need to focus on. So.
Yeah. The last issue I kind of wanted to get into is just being innovative. Educators, administrators, you got to do some things differently. Be innovative. You want to attract families, kids to your school. So, Grant, your second year at Frankenmuth, what are some innovative things you're kind of maybe thinking about?
Well, one of the innovative things that we'll be including in our curriculum in my 3rd year, which will be next year, is drone aviation. We received a FAA grant for 2 of our instructors to receive training in drone aviation to get their FAA 107 license. And what that will do is they'll then allow them to engage the students, teach them drone aviation, and allow the students to receive certification and license FAA 107. As we see, drone aviation can be used across many professions, whether it's real estate, whether it's police rescue. It's really evolving, and it's giving students opportunity and innovation of that idea of being able to kind of take that video game persona and take it to the next level.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great, guys. Thanks again. Maybe bring you on, do it again. We'll see where some of these legal cases and school chase goes, because it's going to continue to be an issue across the country and right here in Michigan. So appreciate the work that you do, and thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
And thank you for joining us on the After Show.